Otto Edward Leopold, Prince of Bismarck, Duke of Lauenburg, known as Otto von Bismarck, was a conservative Prussian statesman who dominated German and European affairs from the 1860s until 1890 and was the first chancellor of the German Empire between 1871 and 1890. In 1862, King Wilhelm I appointed Bismarck as Minister-President of Prussia, a position he would hold until 1890. With the exception of provoked 3 short, decisive wars against Denmark, Austria, and France. Following the victory against Austria, he abolished the supranational German Confederation and instead formed the North German Confederation as the first German national state in 1867, leading it as federal chancellor. This aligned the smaller North German states behind Prussia. Later receiving the support of the independent South German states in the Confederation's defeat of France, he formed the German Empire in 1871. Unifying Germany with himself as imperial chancellor, while retaining control of Prussia at the same time. The new German nation excluded Austria, which had been Prussia's main opponent for predominance among the German states. With that accomplished by 1871, he skillfully used balance of power diplomacy to maintain Germany's position and of Europe, which, despite many disputes and war scares, remained at peace. For historian Erich Hobsbawm, it was Bismarck who remained on the game of multilateral diplomatic chess for almost 20 years after 1871 and devoted himself exclusively and successfully to maintaining peace between the powers. However, his annexation of Alsace-Lorraine gave new fuel to French nationalism and promoted Germanophobia in France. This helped set the stage for the First World War. Bismarck's diplomacy of realpolitik and powerful rule at home gained him the nickname the Iron Chancellor. German unity was the foundation to his foreign policy. He disliked colonialism, but reluctantly built an overseas empire when it was demanded by both elite and mass opinion. Juggling a very complex interlocking series of conferences, negotiations and alliances, he used his diplomatic skills to maintain Germany's position and used the balance of power to keep Europe at peace in the 1870s and 1880s. A master of complex politics at home, of gaining working-class support that might otherwise go to his socialist enemies. In the 1870s, he allied himself with the liberals and fought the Catholic Church in what was called the Kulturkampf. He lost that battle as the Catholics responded by forming a powerful center party and using universal male suffrage to gain a block of seats. Bismarck then reversed himself, ended the Kulturkampf, broke with the liberal tariffs, and formed a political alliance with the Center Party to fight the socialists. A devout Lutheran, he was loyal to his king, who argued with Bismarck, but in the end, supported him against the advice of his wife and his heir. While the Reichstag, Germany's parliament, was elected by universal male suffrage, it did not have much control of government policy. Bismarck distrusted democracy and ruled through a strong, well-trained bureaucracy with power in the hands of a traditional junker elite that consisted of the landed nobility in eastern Prussia. Under Wilhelm I, Bismarck largely controlled domestic and foreign affairs until he was removed by the young Kaiser Wilhelm II in 1890 at the age of 75. Bismarck, a junker himself, was strong-willed, outspoken and overbearing, but he could also be polite, charming and witty. Occasionally he displayed a violent temper, and he kept his power by melodramatically. He possessed not only a long-term national and international vision, but also the short-term ability to juggle complex developments. As the leader of what historians call revolutionary conservatism, Bismarck became a hero to German nationalists. They built many monuments honoring the founder of the new Reich. Many historians praise him as a visionary who was instrumental in uniting Germany and, once that had been accomplished, kept the peace in Europe through adroit diplomacy. A 2011 biographer of Bismarck wrote that he was a political genius of a very unusual kind whose success rested on several sets of conflicting characteristics, among which brutal, Disarming honesty mingled with the wiles and deceits of a confidence man. He played his parts with perfect self-confidence, yet mixed them with rage, anxiety, illness, hypochondria, and irrationality. He used democracy when it suited him, negotiated with revolutionaries and the dangerous Ferdinand Lassalle, the socialist who might have contested his authority. He utterly dominated his cabinet ministers with a sovereign contempt and blackened their reputations as soon as he no longer needed them. He outwitted the parliamentary parties, even the strongest of them, and betrayed all those who had put him into power. By 1870, even his closest friends realized that they